Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Radha Nila Madhurada Nila Madhurade. Radha Nila Madhurada Nila Madhurade. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की।
Hare Krishna. Today we are celebrating the Vyasa puja of our beloved spiritual masters. Normally we do this in the January first week or close to first week, but this year due to the pandemic we had to close the temple during that time. So we now celebrating the combined Vyasa puja. Vyasa puja it's called because they are representative of Vyasa, and all the Vyasa is the spiritual master for all the great saints and all the great literature which has come from him. So we call this as Vyasa Puja, but it's an appearance day. Not that all the Maharajas are actually born between December and January, but we are celebrating today. The mood is still the same. This is an opportunity for us to show our gratitude and show how we are actually inspired by them in our devotional life. And this is an opportunity in that way for everyone. So we have His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj Swami and Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Maharaj and His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj here from left to right. So we have various devotees made different preparations and also offerings which they're going to read. So we will start with the offerings now. We can start from the left to right or right to left. Okay, right to left. We'll start with His Holiness Rompasa Maharaj. So, who is going to go first? Snehavalli Mataji will read her first offering for Maharaj. And if you want to say offerings for other Maharaj also, you can do it. So, we have time. We'll do until 12 o'clock. 12 to 12:30 is Arati. And then we do Pushpanjali right after the Arati. And then we'll honor Prasadam. Hare Krishna.
It's okay? Hare Krishna. Okay, good. Yeah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimati Romapad Swamin iti namine. My dear most Guru Maharaj and my eternal spiritual father, please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your divine lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and you. Guru Maharaj, on this most blessed and auspicious occasion of your Vyasa puja, I am making a small attempt to glorify your monumental services to Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON. As Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that a bird can fly to its own capacity. Similarly, my menial attempt to glorify your services cannot do justice to the prodigious services you have offered to Srila Prabhupada in your deep gratitude towards him. All your services are glorious within an array of spectrum, from introducing a newcomer to Krishna consciousness to guiding and inspiring a spiritual practitioner to advance in their spiritual journey, along with other major services guided by you in ISKCON. Since last year, I got an opportunity to take your association daily, twice, virtually. I consider this my good fortune to be able to hear directly from you online. My appreciation for your services has deepened with this experience. I am witnessing your hard work, dedication, and your service attitude with one aim in life, Krishna Bhakti. Your every action is dedicated to bring us closer to Krishna, to induce us to take shelter of Krishna by encouraging us to develop the primary quality of the devotee, Mat Sharana. You only want our attraction to grow stronger and stronger towards Krishna. Guru Maharaj, your every class is well structured, well researched, well prepared, with in-depth details extracted from various scriptures, incorporating all our Acharya's commentaries, such as Jiva Goswami's Sandarbhas, Gopal Champu, Srila Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava, Vidagdha Madhava, Ujjvala Nilamani. From the writings of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's commentaries. All these details are accompanied with beautiful PowerPoint presentation, which includes various paintings, pictures, artwork, etc. Your collection of pictures is from distinguished library, such as a British library, or from the world-renowned museums like Chicago, Australia, etc., to name a few. All these compilations make the subject matter more intriguing and interesting. We all are awestruck with the amount of time you spent on preparing these PowerPoint presentations. Anyone who has worked in the corporate field can easily imagine the effort and labor it takes to prepare a single PowerPoint presentation. I have first-hand experience of seeing Sandeep preparing his PowerPoint presentations for long hours. Guru Maharaj, all the effort you put in preparing these slides is only for us, so that we can grow in our Krishna consciousness. As I am reflecting, I am noticing the number of PowerPoint presentations presented by you during this last year. I cannot count them on my fingers. During this last year, you covered several major topics like Uddhava Gita, Dhruva Maharaj's prayers, virtual Govardhan Parikrama, Krishna's pastimes from 10th canto, Vedic cosmology, personalities of Ramayana, summary study of 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, just to name a few. All these presentations were not a single class, but seminars over several days. In this list, I haven't included the presentations on special topics like Descent of Ganges, Dhyan Chand Goswami, Appearance and Disappearance Days of our Acharyas, major festivals like Nityananda Trayodashi, Radha Ashtami, etc. In addition, I noticed the amount of time you spent on Chinese presentations. For Chinese class, you have PowerPoint presentations translated in Chinese language so that our Chinese devotees can understand and visualize the pastime. Guru Maharaj, in the interest of space on this page, I cannot name all the presentations covered by you during this last year. If I count the number of classes given by you within an year, it comes out to be more than 700 classes, mostly with PowerPoint presentations, and hardly some were repeated. Guru Maharaj, it is beyond my comprehension to understand the time and commitment you have for all of us in your service to Srila Prabhupada. We are eternally indebted to you. You are always available to answer our queries, our concerns, or our doubts. You are fully dedicated to your services. I cannot comprehend your hard work, your effort, your dedication. All this is just for us. I am remembering a verse from Uddhava Gita, which an Avaduta Brahmana speaks to King Yadu about his 24 gurus, one of which is water, which is compared to saintly person and reads as follows. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.7.44. O king, a saintly person is just like water because he is free from all contamination, gentle by nature, and by speaking creates a beautiful vibration like that of flowing water. Just by seeing, touching, or hearing such a saintly person, the living entity is purified, just as one is cleansed by contact with pure water. Thus, a saintly person, just like a holy place, purifies all those who contact him because he always chants the glories of the Lord. Guru Maharaj, I am seeking my purification of the heart by hearing you and by seeing you. May Krishna bless you with long, healthy life, and may we continue to hear unobstructively from you. Hare Krishna, aspiring to be your humble servant, Snehavali Devi Dasi.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Hanumat Preshak Swami iti namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Om Ajnanati Marandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances onto your lotus feet. Wishing you a very happy 74th birthday. Pray to Shri Shri Radha Nilamada for many more to come. First and foremost, by any means, I'm not qualified to glorify your holiness. However, I will still attempt to do so on this auspicious day, and I beg for forgiveness for all the offenses I may commit during the offering. Srila Gurudev, you always stress the importance of various services to the Lordships, Srila Prabhupada, and the spiritual master. To your second initiated disciples, you emphasize in many of your classes from Chaitanya Charitamrita 15.106 that when one is situated in a neophyte platform, one cannot understand the devotional ingredients of a pure, unalloyed devotee. However, when the novice engages in devotional service, especially in deity worship, and follows the order of a bona fide spiritual master, he becomes a pure devotee. Anyone can take advantage of hearing about Krishna consciousness from such a devotee and thus gradually become purified. I'm extremely fortunate over the past 22 years to receive your instructions, guidance, and render some menial service whenever I get an opportunity. Though there have been numerous occasions we have witnessed your sincere love for your disciples, last year was indeed a special year for me. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7, verse 36, Anuvartanam sisyanam putranam cha dvajotama anaprastham abhibhruyor guruve dinavatsalaha. Translation: O best among the Brahmanas, those who are spiritual masters are very kind to the needy, They are always kind to their followers, disciples, and sons. And without being asked by them, the spiritual master describes all that is knowledge. Shira Gurudev, last year I was suffering with very bad health. And in our interactions over the phone and emails, I avoided discussing this with you. During your visit to Boise, you heard about my health from my godbrothers, Radhika Raman Prabhu and Srinivas Prabhu. You immediately called me and chastised me for not updating you, and you immediately mentioned that you're going to take a flight to Seattle and come down to visit me. I was actually ashamed that even though you treat me as your son, I did not update you, but my genuine intention was not to disturb you with these frivolous matters, and your health is even worse, yet you constantly travel around the globe for your preaching to fulfill your promise to Srila Prabhupada. I immediately booked my travel and headed to Boise. And when I landed, I had so many mixed emotions. My heart was filled with joy to meet you, but I also was a bit ashamed that I had not kept you updated and put you in so much of anxiety. As disciples, we should be serving you at every opportunity. But yet, you set aside all your classes and visits to various devotees' houses and spent the next 2 days showering so much of love and affection. I still recollect that I entered the temple hall, you were giving a class, you stopped the class and asked the devotees to come and help me and offered a seat. You always refused to take prasadam till I had joined you. I still relish the long walk we had to Boise State University for over 3 miles, where you constantly emphasized the need to maintain good health so that we can always serve the lordships, the guru, and the devotees. When I was heading back to the airport, you were giving a class, and when you saw me, you paused and held my hand and walked me all the way to the car. Srila Gurudev, I was in tears seeing the amount of unlimited mercy and affection you showered on me. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 135, Mantra Guru Arayatya Shiksha Guru Gana, Tanahar Charane Age Karya Vandana. Translation, I first offer my respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all instructing spiritual masters. Few things to highlight from the purport. Srila Jiva Goswami in his thesis Bhakti Sandarbha has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the objective of pure Vaishnavas, and that one has to execute such service in association of other devotees. By associating with devotees of Lord Krishna, one develops the sense of Krishna consciousness and thus becomes inclined towards the loving service of the Lord. This is the process of approaching the Supreme Lord, but gradual appreciation in devotional service. If one desires unalloyed devotional service, one must associate with the devotee of Sri Krishna. There is no other option. For by such association, only can a conditional soul achieve a taste of transcendental love and thus revive his eternal relationship with Godhead in a specific manifestation in terms of a specific transcendental mellow rasa that one is eternally inherent in him. The expert spiritual master knows well how to engage his disciples' energy in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and he thus engages a devotee in a specific devotional service according to his special tendency and inclination. The service of the spiritual master is very essential. If there is no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. There is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. In his absence, therefore, his words of direction should be the pride for the disciple. If one thinks that he is above consulting anyone, including a spiritual master, he is at one an offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. Such an offender can never go back to Godhead. Srila Gurudev, despite your health conditions, you constantly travel across the globe, especially to Latin America for preaching, and I rarely get your personal association. But as we just read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela above, the best way a disciple can reciprocate is to follow sincerely the instructions of a spiritual master. And your instructions to your disciples are very simple, which is chant 16 rounds daily, strictly follow the 4 regulative principles, and whatever service you take at the temple, do that service very, very sincerely, and please do not skip it. The only reason to skip would be your inability to crawl to the temple. You also always highlight in your classes that when you render your services, you need to be extremely humble and actually know the purpose of the service, that is pleasing the lordships and to help improve the sadhana. Following your footsteps, I promise on this auspicious day to render my service, which is in deity worship, very sincerely, working hard to always remain humble and knowing the purpose of such service that we can always please the lordships, Gurudev, His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, and all the Vaishnavas. I sincerely pray to the lordships to give you good health, such that you can continue your preaching activities all across the world, and please, Srila Prabhupada. Again, please forgive this fallen disciple of yours for any offenses committed. Your humble servant, Pandav Das.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति विकास स्वामी निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। I'll begin with offering prayers to all the spiritual masters. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Avtarakan Tat Prakasam Tat Sakti Krishna Chaitanya Samagyakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Panchatatvakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Utaram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam. I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from his features, as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee and devotional energy. Krishna Guru Bhakta Shakti Avatar Prakash Krishna Ei Chhei Rupe Kareno Bilash. Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as the spiritual masters, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations and the plenary portions. They are all six in one. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Avtarkan Tat Prakasam Tat Sakti Krishna Chaitanya Samagyakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations. Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath. My instructing spiritual masters are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Ei Chhai Guru, Shiksha Guru Ei Amar, Tat Sabar Pad Padma Koti Namaskar. These six are my instructing spiritual masters, and therefore I offer millions of respectful obeisances unto their lotus feet. Mantra Guru Ar Yata Shiksha Guru Gan. Tahar Charana Age Kariye Vandan. I offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all my instructing spiritual masters. So Guru is personal manifestation of Guru Tattva. And thus Guru is one but manifested as many. So a true disciple sees one spiritual master communicating to him through various means. It is our very good fortune that today we are celebrating the Vyasa puja of 4 spiritual masters. I have no capability to comprehend the inscrutable nature of these great personalities, nor did I have the good fortune to have much association with them. Nevertheless, I'll make an attempt to glorify in my limited capacity. First, I'd like to glorify His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Swami Maharaj. His Holiness, at a very young age, was convinced that the Western knowledge could be complemented by deep study of Oriental wisdom, right? So at the time, I believe he was in his college and was studying psychology. And he took the inspiration and went to East Asia. He pursued Eastern martial arts, right? Eventually came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and took up Krishna consciousness. So this has been so much motivation for him. And, he has dedicated his life in this regard. I'll just briefly mention some of his contributions. Currently he is the General Secretary of North American Institute for Oriental and Classical Studies. So his contribution through various forums which are dedicated to Eastern culture, he's utilizing that to propagate Krishna consciousness. This also includes his work with Bhakti Vedanta Institute, right? The science arm of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, and Ranganiketan Manipur Cultural Arts, right? So he traveled with an international troupe of various artists and musicians from Manipur and presented the entire package of Krishna consciousness along with philosophy and culture. And he was instrumental in establishing and organizing 2 world congresses for synthesis of science and religion, where many Nobel laureates had participated. So just some glorification. I did not have the good fortune to have a lot of association with him, but through his disciples, we can appreciate him, as say that you can figure out the ascertain the nature of the tree from the fruit. So by exemplary character, nature, and the devotional mood of his disciples, I can have some appreciation for His Holiness, how nicely he has trained his disciples. And again, my misfortune is I haven't got association with many of the spiritual masters, but I'll make an attempt to glorify him. Similarly, Ramapat Swami Maharaj, we moved over here in 2017, so we missed the opportunity of so many yatras and so many seminars and retreats that Maharaj used to arrange over here. But I've heard a lot about it from various devotees. And if we see the journey of His Holiness Ramapat Swami Maharaj, is very exemplary. How at a young age he was studying, I think it was in medical school in Buffalo, New York, and he came in contact with the devotees. And since then, he dedicated his life, and he has served the mission in so many different ways, right? He, as a spokesperson for public affairs, as temple president in New York, and in GBC capacity, his yatras and seminars inspire thousands of devotees. We just heard elaborately from Mataji how much effort and time Maharaj puts in coming up with those presentations, and not only that, presenting them in and translating them in different languages. Next, I'd like to glorify His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj again took to Krishna consciousness in his youth. In his young age, he was again inspired to take a very arduous journey on foot, right, all the way from Europe to India. And since then, he has made his home in India. He puts like at least 6 months. He's right there, right, in Chowpatty. And we see how wonderful community he has developed, right, which is renowned all over the world. So Maharaj has been definitely instrumental in establishing, very thriving devotional communities. His deep realizations and beautiful rendition of Krishna Leela Gaur Katha, as well as Gaur Katha, are very enlivening. Maharaj's contribution in pioneering youth preaching, right? We can say that with he inspired some early disciples, His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, Radheshyam Prabhu, when they went on, and beginning with Chowpatty in Pune, that was expanded to all the premier institutes of India. So, Srila Prabhupada actually had desired that educational institutes should also provide spiritual knowledge, and we see that now it is being fulfilled under the significant effort by leading disciples of Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And finally, I would like to glorify my initiating spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. I had the good fortune to have association of Maharaj from my early days while I was in college. I think it was my very first year in college that Maharaj visited the temple in Vallabh Vidyanagar, which is a very small college town in Gujarat. And by his sincere, strict austerity, by his dedication, by how much culture, Vedic culture he had imbibed, I mean, that was very inspiring for me to take up Krishna consciousness, and definitely will indebted to him life after life. Again, I am not qualified to glorify him, but I'll just highlight some few aspects. So Maharaj is definitely very concerned about various social issues. So he took this up from Srila Prabhupada. We see Srila Prabhupada in his morning walk conversation. He always comment on the world affairs. Unlike various sadhus, they are so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness or devotion, but we see genuine sadhus, they also have concern for the situation in the world. And we see Srila Prabhupada used to always comment and provide direction in various social matters. And so we see that His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj also has taken that up, and he comments extensively on various social issues, providing proper spiritual perspective. He is very concerned that devotees should get proper peaceful social and cultural environment in which Krishna consciousness can thrive. Otherwise, it is very difficult in the age of Kali to make progress in devotional service. And for that regard, he has spent significant time and energy in developing sustainable, simple living, especially farm-based communities. And the other mission that he has taken up as his life and soul is writing educational and philosophical books. He, in one of his classes, he had shared how in his dream Srila Prabhupada came and confirmed that and appreciated Maharaj taking up that work of writing specifically educational and philosophical books. Right now, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is working on Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada. It is a 3-volume project, but it's probably bigger. It's going to be bigger than Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav that he had compiled. And the essence of this book that he's writing is with the idea that if we capture the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada in its entirety, in due course of time, we've seen just after the 6 Goswamis, there was an era where there was a decline in Krishna consciousness, right? Sahajaism and other kind of discrepancies that crept in, and which happens, and it is possible that will happen again. So, with the desire that if we compile such a compendium, that anyone who in future, when things might degrade, just by reading that book, they can start the entire mission from scratch. So that is his, desire to finish that project. It is very monumental. He's dedicating all his time and energy in finishing that. The other big project that he's working on is Vaishnava etiquette and culture, writing in detail, all aspects of Vedic culture. How Vaishnavas should behave, how they should communicate, even to the details of how one should honor prasadam, or how one should, take shower, or how we, cut nails, for instance. I thought these are very basic things, right? I mean, everyone would know, but some of the excerpts from the book I was fortunate to come across, I found so many inspiring details which I was completely unaware of, in such minute detail. So he's pursuing extensive research to compile that, because a Vaishnava is glorified when the devotion is accompanied by proper behavior. Finally, one last quality. I mean, His Holiness has unlimited qualities, but the last one in this limited time that I would like to glorify is his very soft-hearted nature. Maharaj is known to be very strict. But in his personal communication and personal dealings, I've realized many instances where Maharaj can be, more softer than a lotus petal. And this is the characteristic of great personalities. Mahanu bhaver chitter swabhav ei hoy, pushpa shama komal kathina vajramoy. So that is the nature of the mind of an uncommon personality. Sometimes it is soft like a flower, but sometimes it is as hard as a thunderbolt. So I had the good fortune to have the personal association. I also had the good opportunity to host him at our home twice. His Holiness, Guru Maharaj, you have tried to engage me in important services, but I have failed to live up to the expectation. This is only my misfortune. I pray at your lotus feet that I develop attachment towards taking up your instructions as my life and soul. I pray that Krishna bless you with long life and good health so that you complete various literary projects that you have taken up and which are more dear to you than your very life. Your useless servant, Radhanand Das.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapasaya Bhutale Srimati Radhana Swamiti Namile. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namile. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschat Desitarani. It's a privilege to be here on this very auspicious day of combined Vyasa puja and read the offering to the exalted devotee of the Lord, our Guru Maharaj and the other exalted Maharaj who are all present here. I would also like to seek permission from all of you because I utterly feel I'm unqualified to speak on this occasion. This was just day before yesterday when Brajkripa Prabhu called me and asked that if you can speak, and my first reaction was, Prabhu, internally I said that I can't. I don't feel that I can speak. And the reason is, when you are trying to speak for a devotee who is pure in nature, right, who is a via media, who is presenting all the teaching directly from Krishna to us, to his purity, how a person who is anything but pure can present anything. It was a very difficult decision for me, right? Of course, there was a reason that I had a class and stuff, and I told Prabhu that, Prabhu, let me think about it. And Prabhu said that, Prabhu, this is a great opportunity because you don't know when you are going to get it next. So I said, okay, Prabhu, I'll let me think. And I thought for an hour or so, and I thought that I have to speak just for my own purification. I know that I am not qualified, but when a guru or when a father sees his unqualified son to try to walk or try to talk on something, even try to imitate, the father feels very happy. So this is just for my own purification and for the pleasure of my Guru Maharaj. I'm going to try to speak some words. So I could have spoken about all the glorious service Guru Maharaj has done, how he is trying to bring numerous devotees to Krishna consciousness through his preaching activity, through his simplicity, through his humbleness, through the various big projects, right? And to create so many commander devotees who are going across the world and trying to preach. But I thought I would use something which is personal to me. And personal in a way, I haven't got the opportunity to serve the Guru Maharaj in any personal capacity. My connection with the Guru Maharaj is through his Vani. We took the shelter of the Maharaj through his Kirtan when we were coming from Sadhu Sangha, and we were driving, me and my wife were driving, and we were listening to the Sadhu Sangha Kirtan in the midnight when we were driving so that we don't fall asleep. And that's where while listening to Maharaj Kirtan repeatedly, just my wife developed the instant connection, and she said that I would like to take shelter of Maharaj. And she asked me, what about you? I said, yes. So I thought that I will speak something, and what can I speak? I don't have any qualification to speak. So I thought I will offer your own words to you, just like when one goes to the holy water and take the holy water and put it back into the holy river. So I'm going to take some of your own words and speak here for my own cleanliness. The nature of material consciousness is that we take things cheaply. Because we take material things, might be money, It might be popularity and fame. It may be physical health. We take these things very seriously. And they are consideration to be taken seriously to some extent. But in doing so, we take cheaply the incredible gift that Lord Chaitanya and Panch Tattva have come to give us. So the theme is also because Gaur Purnima is next week, and whenever I see Maharaj, it reminds me of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Mahaprabhu. And coming from the North Indian background, I didn't have any idea who Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. And as I've been listening more to Maharaj, trying to imbibe his mood in some way or the other, I'm developing little taste. So this theme of the some of the words which I have picked from Maharaj is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this incredible gift that Lord Chaitanya and the Panch Tattva have come to give us. We see in other religion, in Lord Jesus, he was willing to endure persecution and crucifixion. He didn't have to do that. He only did it because he wanted to give love of God to all of us. This compassion to all being is at the heart of all true spirituality. Lord Chaitanya, he came to give this love of God, and he came to give it in its most intimate, essential form. Save pumsha paro dharma yato bhakti ahukjati ahituki aparitita ya yatma suprasiddhati. The Srimad Bhagavatam extols this principle that the supreme dharma, the very essence of all religion, is loving devotional service to the supreme transcendental Godhead. Such service must be unmotivated by any type of arrogance or selfishness and uninterrupted by any type of circumstances or obstacles that may come before us. It is that type of love only that completely satisfies the self, Anandamayo Bhayashyat, and it is that love that everyone is ultimately seeking. For the soul, there is only one pleasure, to feel Krishna's love and to share Krishna's love. And that is the pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is exactly, Guru Maharaj, this is what exactly you try to teach us. In every lecture I hear, this is the meaning you are trying to teach us to all the time. One lifetime of wholehearted shelter, enthusiastic and patient service will take us back to Krishna. So let us not take this cheaply. One of the ways devotees tend to even take it cheaply when we have it is we expect immediate results. Actually, at every moment, we are chanting Krishna's name, we are serving Krishna's devotee, we are spreading Krishna's message or worshipping Krishna. There is immediate result, but we may not perceive it with our very dull external awareness. Exactly my condition. It's a very rapid process. What usually takes in other yugas long time or even many lifetimes, in this age can be achieved in this very life if we just take shelter of Krishna's wholeheartedly. Emphasis is on wholeheartedly. Even though it's so rapid, relatively it's a gradual process because it's step by step throughout this effort, throughout this short little life that we are living. To surrender, emphasis, is to be patient, emphasis. And is our patience, however long it takes, whenever Krishna wants to show me this mercy, we are enthusiastic to serve. That's a very big emphasis. Enthusiastic to hear and to chant, very big emphasis. Enthusiastic to remember Krishna in all situations, undescribable emphasis. In this way, a devotee has determination that whatever may come, I will never give up what please my Guru and Krishna. This is something I'm trying to do, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. I fail sometime, improving little bit, but I need lot of mercy of the devotees to do that. That is the simple price. It seems difficult temporarily, but it's actually very simple. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would say, just give this one lifetime. You have had so many millions and millions of countless lifetimes. Just give this one lifetime to please Guru and Krishna. And it's a gradual process. Antikale chamameva smarnam mukta kalevram. If we just learn to remember Krishna in this life, and Krishna is pleased by our devotional character, then at the time of death, Krishna will be there. Yes, indeed, he will be there. Man mana bhav mad bhakto mad yajimam manosh namashkuru mam evashyasi satyam te pratijane priyosmi. It is his promise that he will personally bring us back to our eternal home. These are your words, Guru Maharaj, that I have tried to offer back to you. While reading each of those words, which is the compilation of the various lectures, I started trying to reflect how the journey I have traveled and how long I have to travel. Because I have nothing else to give to you. Guru Maharaj, as I said, our connection with you is through the Vani only. And for the long time, we felt how unfortunate we are that we don't get to serve you in person. Sometimes it felt like useless for not having done anything for you. I have heard from some of my god brothers and sisters how you have come in their dreams and inspired them in many ways. I personally have never had any of these experiences, and I always felt like Kala Krishna Das from Gaura Leela, banished for having lusty desires. I have not only lusty desires, but many others that I feel ashamed on myself. I am fully loaded with anarthas. That may be more appropriate to discuss, maybe more one-on-one. But slowly, I have started to see your causeless mercy. How you have sent us your commander devotees as big brothers, mentors in my life. Through their clear instruction, I have realization that I have these full load of anarthas in me, and that itself is a great progress, because that's the realization that I have these anarthas. And to know this on the path of bhakti is the first step. I know that this is the extra baggage for which I am paying through innumerable life of birth and death on my life journey. And I can't board this flight that is ready to take me back to Godhead with this extra baggage. I have started seeing how He have given me His Holiness Hari Vilas Maharaj to serve personally. I have seen through the classes of Balram Shakti Prabhu, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu, Govind Prabhu, and many other exalted God brothers who have visited us personally to give your love, give your mood, so that we can learn. This has allowed me to understand that if I want to relish the nectarian sweetness of Srimad Bhagavatam or Gaura Leela, then I need to learn the language of rasa. Learning the language of rasa can only happen through the strict sadhana and serve it with determination. Exactly your words, Maharaj. Determination can only come through devotees association. And devotee association is plenty in our beloved congregation built by your dear friend, His Holiness Hari Vilas Maharaj. Going to yatra and listening the same Gaura Leela year over year used to make me get bored a bit. But now I have realized how much asakti you have for Gaura Leela. And just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask devotee to keep repeating the Krishna's pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam and get completely subsumed in that pastime, similarly you are getting subsumed in Gaura Leela, living it, then trying to bring us along the journey. Isn't a father want to carry all his children along? Through your merciful glances, now I can see how His Holiness Hari Vilas Maharaj, His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Hanumat Praksha Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, you Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, and several other exalted Goswamis and Guru Maharaj who have come in my life, in our parampara, and they are like a tributaries of rivers that is connected with the most nectarian river of Prabhupada. And how that river, through the very well connected tributaries, are connected with the central water source of Gaura, who is non-different from Radha and Krishna. Thank you for giving us shelter in your most merciful lap, even though we don't have any qualification. This is your causeless mercy that is coming through the supreme causeless mercy of Gauranga, Nityananda, Mahaprabhu. I feel very lucky. Indeed, I feel very lucky. I see how much you personally love us in a very personal form of a very perfect message of your Vani. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. I would also like to take a minute to glorify His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, you are the reason that we have the representation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our house in the form of Nitai Nimai Chaitanya Sundar Bhagwan. It was your mercy that we were able to bring this beautiful Vigraha in our house. You are also the reason that I have most beloved big brother like His Grace Amritanand Prabhu in my life. Thank you for showing the path back to Godhead. His Holiness Hanumat Preksha Swami Maharaj. I have never personally met you, but I have seen your vision through the words and eyes of His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu and Pandav Vijay Prabhu. I have learnt how as a neophyte practitioner, even though knowing the tattva on personal aspect of Lord, we start behaving with others in a very impersonal way. Emphasis is on impersonal way. Losing the relationship with other devotees and how that can become an hindrance on our own path. So personal and impersonalism is not only in the pages of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but in our behavior. I have learned from Pandey Vijay Prabhu that when he was lost trying to reach Mountain View Temple and his desperation to reach on time, he called the temple, and how one wonderful devotee gently guided him step by step to the temple. That devotee was no one but you. When Pandey Vijay Prabhu told me, it put the tears in my eyes. That it's a simple thing, anybody will go and do it. But a Maharaj who will just pick a call and say that, yes, this is the path you take. Isn't that the journey we all are taking? And that devotee who was guided on that road of bhakti by you is guiding us, all the devotees here, in Archana Vidhi, who want to serve the Lord in personal Vigraha way. Thank you for showing the path back to Godhead, Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. I would have never understood the Bhagavad Gita the way it has to be understood without the words of one of your representative, Dr. Keshavanand Prabhu. Through his words, I am able to understand the purity on the power of your connection to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, I don't know about you, but Dr. Keshavan Prabhu, in his lecture, he was asking some question, and the answer was ignorance, Prabhu, ignorance. He said that that's a philosophical answer. Give me something practical. What is ignorance? And ultimately, then the devotees started answering, and somebody says sofa. They said, yes, that's ignorance. You sitting on the sofa is ignorance. So that's the mood of Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, which all his disciples imbibe. And your various initiative to bring the Varnashrama to the mainstream shows the import of Guru Mukham Padma Vakya. Thank you for showing the path to Godhead. I will end my offering to you, Guru Maharaj, and all the Maharaj with some of the quotes which I try to reflect as much as I can. A devotee is not one who just wears tilak, kanti and gives donation. A devotee is one who pleases the Lord through his service. We go to holy places to purify ourselves by remembering Krishna, but sincere devotees are always reminding us of Krishna. So they are true. They are holy places personified. Real love is expressed through service. Emphasis on service. Bhakti means the science of being defeated. This is a wonderful. I have to read it multiple times. Bhakti means the science of being defeated. Krishna wants to be defeated by the love of his devotees, and the devotee wants to be defeated by Krishna's love. Guru Maharaj, I really, sincerely, I want to really get into those words and imbibe some of those. I know that it will be very difficult with the load of anarthas I have, but I think with your causeless mercy and the mercy of all my dear devotees here and His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, I may be able to make some progress. With that, I end the offering. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Aarti is going on, so we'll stand up for Aarti. Everyone, Krishna Murali Prabhu, can you come and you want to do Aarti?
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyasa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyasa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha, Jayo Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Shubhadra. Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परविगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्री श्री भक्तिवेंद्र शीला प्रभुपाद गोस्वामी महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की सामेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories, Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada की जय. श्री नरसिंह आरती प्रभु, नरसिंह आरती.
Kartal. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. हिरण्यकाशिपो वक्षः शिलतन कान खालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो यथो यथो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये भवकरकमलवरेणाखा अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकाशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृतः नरहरिरूपः जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरेणाखामद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकाशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपादा भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय। भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा बंधु मोहि सावधान माते बंधु मोहि सावधान माते शर प्रसाद बाबा तुझिया जय शर प्रसाद बाबा तुझिया जय कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जा होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जा होते गुरु मुख पद्मा क्या चित ते कोरिया क्या गुरु मुख पद्मा क्या चित ते कोरिया क्या अरना कोरी माने आशा
arna kori umane asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Gati Jai Prasade Puri Sarva Asha Jai Prasade Puri Sarva Asha चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेमा भक्ति जाओति अविद विनाश जति प्रेमा भक्ति जाओति अविद विनाश जति वेद का जहर चरितो ओ वेद का जहर चरितो Shri Guru Karina Sindhu Ajama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karina Sindhu Ajama Janara Bandhu Lokena Lokera Jivana Lokena Lokera Jivana प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादशाया प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादशाया ए बेगाय देश त्रिभुवन ओ ए बेगाय देश त्रिभुवन प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादशाया प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादशाया ए बेगाए देश त्रिभुवन ए बेगाए देश त्रिभुवन ए बेगाए देश त्रिभुवन Shri Guru Karina Sindhu Ajama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karina Sindhu Ajama Janara Bandhu Lokena Lokera Jivana O Lokena Lokera Jivana नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Nita Gora Hari Bol Nita Gora Hari Bol Nita Gora Hari Bol Nita Gora Hari Bol नाम संकीर्तन की
night. Hare Krishna, we are starting Pushpanjali. Om Ajna Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati iti namine Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Krupabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasiddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Varbhava Bhumayastvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sarato Pangur Mama Vanda Matirgati Matsarvasva Padam Bhojau Radha Madana Mohanau Divyat Vrundaranya कल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्टालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रसारम्भी वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथश्रीस्तुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन् स्वामी इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रोमपादस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते हनुमत्प्रेक्षकस्वामिन् इति नामिने एष पुष्पांजलि स्वाहा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे हरे
राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रोमपादस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते हनुमत्प्रेक्षकस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथस्वामिन् इति नामिने एष पुष्पाञ्जलि स्वाहा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रोमपादस्वामिन् इति नामिने, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते हनुमत्प्रेक्षकस्वामिन् इति नामिने, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथस्वामिन् इति नामिने, एष पुष्पाञ्जलि स्वाहा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for attending the combined Vyasa puja. So now, next step is we'll honor the prasadam. And Harilas Maharaj, look at the weather. So he said, this is a good weather. He has to take care of the farm. So as usual, he went for the service. He paid his obeisances in the morning and he left for the service. And Mataji made arrangements to keep the prasadam for Harilas Maharaj. When he comes back, he can eat. So please make sure that we keep a plate for him. And also, today evening, 3:15, I think the Sankirtan, right? Yeah, 3:15. So start from here. 3:30? 3:30. So the Saturday Sankirtan. Is the time changed or only for these days? Okay, so 3:30 today. And things which in my hand, just to remind you, tomorrow is a Gundicha margin. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day is coming. So tomorrow Radhapati Prabhu kindly requested all of you to come enthusiastically like you came today for the Gundicha margin service starting at 9 o'clock. So please show up. Don't think somebody else will come on your behalf, but just show up, okay? So please come and do the service. And now we do the mini cleanup here, and all the flowers please pick up or just on the carpet, okay? Yeah, practice session, you can say that. Hare Krishna.